What's up, guys? Welcome back to RacingNews.com. Welcome back to another one of our Kentucky Derby updates. Well, we're going to talk about a lot on the show today. But first, we've got to do a shake in our fantasy league for Hill Road. I'll put the Wheel of Death up on the screen now. We got a three-way shake for Hill Road, a horse that I think a lot of people like to at least hit the board in the Wood Memorial, if not win it. So field of three, so to speak here. Let's see who gets it. Hill Road. I'm going to spin the wheel now. We'll get this out of the way, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about what's going on. All right, here comes the spin. Let's see who gets it. Hill Road, who is going to get it? Oh, my goodness, the double Ds. That's Miranda and Dr. Tang. They're going to get Hill Road, and so for the second straight week, they're looking to claim and win. They did it with Tapan Street in the Florida Derby, and now they're going to do it again with this one. So Hill Road goes to Dr. Miranda and Dr. Tang, and they will be dropping Speed King, the Ron Moquette runner who won the Southwest and then didn't do much in the next two starts. So Hill Road going to the double Ds. Also, we're going to have two claims now that is over with. Vinny and Dennis will claim Statesman. So Statesman going to go to Vinny and Dennis. No shake for him. And they will drop, they will drop Baby Max. So Baby Max now available for anybody that might want him. So there you go. Going to be interesting to see. I'll just go ahead and put up the Wood Memorial field now. Blow that up for you guys. A little bit small today. All right. So the Wood Memorial does feature Hill Road amongst 12 others, or I guess I should say 11 others. Be interesting to see what happens here. Look, I think the thing with Hill Road, one of the big things is this race sets up fairly well for him. It's not that tough of a field, so hit the board or win is very possible for sure. But, I think you can say, hey, if he hits the board here, he's probably going to be in the Kentucky Derby. And with it being Chad Brown, probably going to be in the Belmont. So that's a pretty good horse to grab. As we look at this field, it is an interesting one, right? It's Rodriguez, a horse coming in from Southern California. Bob Baffert's kind of commented that Rodriguez has had trouble in the post parade at Santa Anita. He came to the Wood because he thought it'd be a little bit more quiet than the Bluegrass or Santa Anita Derby. So we'll see if that helps Rodriguez in the spot. Sand Devil, the New York bred, going to try to give it another go. Like say, you got the Hill Road. You've got Captain Cook, winner of the Withers. So you've got a lot of horses, that are kind of on the fringe. It's like, I don't know if they're great or not. And then you got Statesman down there that Vinny and Dennis grabbed. We'll see if he can kind of jump on the trail late and make it a little bit of a mark there. Now, let's talk about this one. The Santa Anita Derby has drawn a field of just 5, and this is significant, and this is going to be the major talking point of the weekend when it comes to just the overall picture of the Kentucky Derby. Field of 5, like I said, for the Santa Anita Derby, that means the points are cut by 25%. So what that means is Barnes, we assumed, hey, if he hits the board in his last prep, he's going to have enough to be in the Derby. Now, that looks to be a little bit in question. Even if he runs second, I think it's a little bit in question that Barnes is going to be able to make the Derby. This is almost a win and you're in for Barnes, Baeza, and Westwood. Journalism and Citizen Bull, they've got enough to be in no matter what. That makes this very interesting. So I'm going to pull up the standings now. I'm guessing you're looking at about 45 points getting you in. Right now, as you see, 35 for Chancer's going to get him in. That number is going to move. Then you're going to have defections, right? So I would imagine about 45 points are going to get you into the gate here. This is pretty darn interesting when you look at this. Jared on there saying Barnes is second, he's in. I would say probably, but I wouldn't say it's a lock-ish. I would say probably, though, he would be in. He's got 18.75 because, again, he ran in a race that was reduced points already. Here's why I would say probably, though, guys. If one horse scratches out of this, they're going to run for 50% of the points. So that's interesting, right? Because we could see a scratch. Westwood is just a maiden. He might scratch. I mean, hell, Barnes might scratch as well. We'll see what happens, but we'll see how this develops. I am very interested to see what happens here. Hopefully we don't get any scratches out of this. But Barnes, like I said, yeah, if he gets second, maybe in unless there's more, and then we'll see what happens with him. So very interesting development there. Here's an interesting thought. Journalism has 47.5 points. Let's say something happens, like I'm going to be like, throws the rider and he's fine and everybody's fine. He could be on the bubble. That would be weird, right? So he could definitely be on the bubble if something was to happen to him. So very interesting what might happen in this race now that there's a field of 5. Bigger picture, what an embarrassment to have a field of 5. It's incredible to me that we run maidens at Del Mar with 10 and 12 horses or 8 or 9 horses, and then you get to these prep races at Santa Anita just a few months later and nobody enters. And I see a lot of people in the chat going, why not just throw, if you're Bob Baffert, just throw a couple of horses in there? I have no idea. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's like Voldemort is a horse that just broke his maiden and timing could go in there. Well, just throw him in the race to get to 6, get to 7, something like that. And it's crazy to me, again, you do have Journalism, Barnes, Citizen Bull. They are like kind of the headliners, obviously. John Sheriff sends Westwood, who's a maiden, just so they could get to 5. And then the one that really gets screwed is Baeza, who probably could have ran second and got in, and now he's going to have to win to get in. I mean, it's really quite crazy when you think about it. But a field of 5, Southern California racing, and California racing in general, just in shambles right now, in my opinion. Just not good whatsoever. So that's kind of what we're looking at there, guys. Go back to the points system here. And definitely your bubble horses, you got to think Journalism getting points. But the Skidaway car, Matticat Road, Built, Neoquist, and then the Chancer can earn points here. But those are the ones that are going to be rooting for some of the favorites to hit the board and win this thing. Because, if not, that number is going to go up and up and up. And then that bottom is going to rise, and they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Some horses on the bubble that are running that those bubble horses don't want to see win. Burnham Square, a horse with 30 points. You don't want to see him. Omaha, another one. River Thames, another one. Sand Devil, Hill Road. So you kind of see Rodriguez. There's a lot of horse. Captain Cook. There's a lot of horses that could jump up here that we hadn't even mentioned yet. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens, and then what happens there as well. All right, that's kind of the update here. It's going to be very interesting to see this weekend. I think there's a lot of things still to work out. We'll just kind of see what happens here. And one more point I want to make. Has Journalism ever been in a race with more than 5 horses? So, we've been on record before saying, these small fields out in California in the past, they haven't really bothered, horses like, you think of a Justify just comes to mind. Is it just like, yeah, he's been facing small fields. It doesn't really, you would logically think it matters, but it really didn't matter in the Derby. I don't know, maybe 5 horses that does matter when that's what's happening over and over. Maybe that does matter a little bit. I think it's a legitimate concern that it's just like, he's probably used to just seeing 4 other ones out there with him, and then he's going to have 19. I don't know. I think it could be an issue. I really think it could be an issue. So we'll see, though. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how he runs. These fields sometimes have very strange paces when you have 4 and 5 or even 6 horses in them. So, I mean, we'll kind of just see how it shakes out. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So I also, another thing I kind of thought of today, it's like, what if the plan, like to keep Barnes and run him at Arkansas, what if they would have done that? How much better would Cornucopian look in a field like this? Say Cornucopian replaces Barnes and Barnes replaces Cornucopian. How much better would he look in a field like this with only 4 other horses? And think how he could maybe be 4 or 5 lengths in front of all of them, setting like a 46 or 47 half instead of 45 and getting pressured. So I don't know. Did Baffert make a mistake there? Sending him to Arkansas, hindsight 2020, obviously, but kind of weird when you think about it. It's like, gee, short field. Maybe Cornucopian could have went out there and wired him, instead of going and knocking heads with Speed King there in Arkansas. So, all right, we will see what happens. It's going to be very interesting this weekend, the final prep weekend. We do have, obviously, the Lexington, but and that could be more of a Preakness prep, than a Derby prep. We'll see how that kind of shakes out. But just interesting to kind of look at, say, boy, maybe he made some mistakes here. So, all right, that's going to do it for the update here, guys. two things to talk about real quick. The preview for the San Anita Derby is coming out very soon. That'll be out here in about probably 15, 20 minutes, as fast as YouTube can load it. Then the Bluegrass is going to draw today. That's why I don't have a preview for you right now. Preview will be out later tonight for the Bluegrass. The Bluegrass Betting Bible will probably be out about, I would say, Thursday morning, because thanks, Keeneland, we're drawing it later on Tuesday instead of Monday or Sunday. So we'll see what's happening there, and we'll see what's going on. Dennis says, who is speculated in for the Bluegrass? Owen Almighty is going to be a big one. River Thames is coming in. Chancer McPatrick coming in as well. You've got East Avenue, who's going to take a shot at it. Those are kind of the big ones, but we'll have a full breakdown of it for you when it comes out, and hopefully Render Judgment. Yes, Pedlo. Hopefully that will come out. I would say in the next couple hours they'll have the card out for Saturday. They usually get it out pretty early. So, all right, guys, that'll look for this Kentucky Derby update. We'll be back soon, I'm sure. We'll be back on the YouTube channel with all the previews, like I just mentioned. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a big weekend, and we'll kind of just see how it all shakes out. Hopefully for some of those on the bubble, that 5-horse field stays 5 horses out in California. We don't get a scratch. But if we do, we'll be here to report it on for you guys. So, all right, guys, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.